the starry sea, with a bat'let held tight with glee. Hunt OPC, his battle cry. Stars and moons light up the sky. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battling communists with cheer, reduces courage, knows no fear. With every clash and mighty roar, victory's prize forevermore. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battle-like a ship does soar, reducing its heart and core. Galactic winds, they lead our course, unity our driving force.
Bum, bum, ba, na, na, ba, da, da, da. Bum, bum, ba, ba, ba.
Unity our driving force. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light.
All right, let's turn them tunes down. Welcome in, everybody. It's Sunday, the first Sunday of June, which means here very soon, 2 days, about 48 hours from this moment, 47 hours if you want to get really specific when the events roll over. But we will have a brand new arc. Are you excited about it? Well, if you're not, that's, you know what, I get it. Some of you had very frustrating times in May. But we know there's a new ship coming out, which many of you knew was happening anyway. But now the details of that have been released. We have a new officer like Scotty. We have all kinds of things that we can discuss and prepare for as we get going. And I've said this, good or bad, I personally look at things like the USS Reliant and I go, I'm gonna be shocked if it's not the highest grossing specialty ship this game has seen in years. It's because it's Wrath of Khan, and I've talked to so many players that while many of them have been frustrated, and understandably so, about a lot of things the game has done in recent weeks, one thing that doesn't stop them is their love for the Reliant and Wrath of Khan. So I'm very curious to see what that looks like. We'll of course go over some of that today. I have a video going over what they talked about yesterday, kind of previewing it, but it does have a free-to-play path day one, which is good for this account because it actually starts at level 26. This is a ship that in a lot of ways reminds us of the Borg Cube with where it starts and where it ends up long term. You could even make the argument that this ship is more for the average player than it is for the high level player, though of course that's an argument to be made, and we'll see how it actually fleshes out once we have the spreadsheets that we're allowed to give you here in a couple days. Captain Wells says we're getting the Reliant. Like, that's enough for me, being a ship nerd, regardless of what it does. And see, that's completely fine. Who am I to yuck somebody's yum? I will have the Reliant. The real question for me is, which account do I get the Reliant on? Do I get it on the baby account where I can't do this loop at all? Or do I get it on the big account where I can do that loop pretty easily, but then I would be setting myself back because the benefit of the Reliant is going to be, just like the NX-01, drastically improving your sourcing of these materials. And I mean drastically. So just as I and you and everybody else, you don't have to be an NDA content creator to predict this massive increase in payouts, but we'll go over all of those. Any truth to the rumors of the Reliant taking 2 packs to unlock? I don't know anything about that. It has the free-to-play drip day one, which is 100,000 of the Cypher currency for your 2-pull drip. So for your 2-pull drip. What will likely be the price point for the ship? $100. $99.99. $99.99. Now the thing is going to be, how much does it cost after that? Like, let's say you're a level 55 player. Do you need to buy at least 1 pack, which how they've structured it recently, buying 1 pack gets you about tier 5, or if you're a level 65 player, do you need to buy 2 packs to actually get you up there, right? How is that going to work out? Is that even going to be something we have to worry about? I'm also sending the wrong ship to Altania. Nobody said anything. Y'all are always doing this to me. Y'all are always doing this to me. But we'll see how that ends up looking for kind of everybody and seeing. So I'll have that decision to make. Do I get it on this account, which will drastically speed up this account? Because I can currently, with a tier 6 Burrell, I can grind on this one the 30s, but I can't grind the 32s. So something I'll have to work on. You know, we get free Latinum from Wandering Warriors. I personally don't do the Wandering Warriors only because most of the ships it asks me to do the turn-ins for on my accounts still need the turn-ins. That said, Wandering Warriors, if you have finished a lot of those things, is super valuable. Arguably one of the better events they have in the game. Just kind of depends on how accessible it is for you. But definitely one of the better overall events I think they've come out with in the past, few months. Definitely can help give a little bit more Latinum to everybody, which was a big gripe when they made the change to how Latinum got sourced in daily events. Well, they've definitely kind of fixed some of those woes and those problems, those complaints from a few months ago, which is good. Victor says, I'm super stoked we're getting another free-to-play and make new content easier to source. Yeah, that's what it's going to do and how it's going to work. It's just really going to come down to you as a player, and this is how it is every time in free-to-play games. Is it worth grinding out for free, or do you want it now? And that's the decision you're going to have to make, right? Is it worth doing it now, or do I just free-to-play grind it? Now, I will say this. If you are a player in G3, your ability to free-to-play grind it is going to be incredibly limited. As I talked about on Twitch last night, I'll grab a very horrible screenshot because it's the only thing I have handy just to show you the cost of this thing. 1 second. Let me save this image. Yeah, we'll just put it there. I'll put this on the screen. Sorry for the incredible pixelation that this image is going to have. I just haven't gone and grabbed a better one. So you're about to look at a picture that has horrible pixelation. 1 second. Where did I just put it? Where did I save it? Oh my Lanta. Reb is bad at everything. Where did I just save this thing? Save image. Oh, why did I save it in there? That's weird. All right, we'll save it in here. That makes more sense. And here we go. So on your screen appearing now. Bam. So there's your Reliant. As you can see, 100,000 currency to get 2 blueprints. So a 100-day unlock path, which has been the norm for quite some time now. And you can see all your other augment options there. Now, the reason I say that's not super accessible for lower level players like this account here in the background simply comes down to I can't grind 100,000. Not even easily, like period. I just can't. 100,000 would require me to hit 5 loot goblins. So it is doable. What I'm saying is far, far more difficult, whereas a higher level player, G4, G5, should not have those issues and those woes. So it's doable, and I guess I shouldn't say impossible. I shouldn't word it as in like not, because I am appreciative. And if nothing else, this means that G3 players are going to eventually have it in event stores, which I think is huge for long-term gaming. So honestly, either way you look at it, it is good. But it is going to be tough to get as a level 26. Very, very difficult. 100,000 which currency? Your common splicers. So if you go into your faction, it's going to be the same currency that you use for your currently main chest pull in the common hijack exchange. So this currency right here, the common hijack splicer, is what you need to turn in. Your very first currency, the one for the main box, is what you're going to need to turn in that augment faction store to get the blueprints for the Reliant. So do we know if that BP cost is the same across all ops and reps levels? I'm pretty sure it is, Den. I've not seen anything to indicate it wasn't. So if it is different, then I have no knowledge of that, including when I was talking to them a month ago. So pretty sure it's the same across the board. Again, very similar to how the Defiant is at level 34, how the Voyager is at level 34 as well. You know, you technically have a slow drip for these. Like I have unlocked like 30 Voyager BPs from grinding the Herogen Relics, but grinding Herogen Relics is very difficult at lower levels. So a lot of those, the cost stays the same and it's available. It's just difficult to start working on. There's no reason for me to believe that the cost would be different for a level 26 to unlock it versus a level 66. It would make sense for it to be the exact same cost, just simply taking more time or more effort to do at a lower level. That would follow what we're used to in STFC, but it has a ton of really good abilities. And I mean a lot of good abilities, which we knew it would. Come out with a loop that's super difficult, fix it with a super ship So it has 4 ship abilities. 4. Yes, 4 ship abilities. So you have the immunity to hijack D7, the lithium destabilization. What does this mean? You can use this to auto farm in augment space. Shocker, everybody had no idea that was going to happen. That ship that annoys you so much that nobody can stop, good news. Good news. We can stop it. Hey, so that's always fun. Next ability, we have Reliant Barrier, which is adding a lot of Apex Barrier to augment hostile ships. We'll have that, or versus augment exile ships. We'll have that in the spreadsheet when that drops on Tuesday. So it's going to be the best ship for fighting these. Then you get 75,000 extra ISO damage against augment exile hostiles. Like literally, just throw any Cascade officer below decks. Yeah, insta wins. And then, last but certainly not least, massive boosting to the amount of loot that you get from each hit. So yes, before anybody asks, it does have a good cargo size. I do not know its protected cargo size before anybody asks that question. I don't know how much protected cargo it has. I do know it has a nice size cargo hold. So yeah, just as you could all predict, it is going to drastically improve the amount that you can obtain in the new augment area of the game. So the Reliant is the answer. How good will it be for everything else? It is still a science ship lore-wise, so don't expect too much. But it is definitely going to make your loops just like the NX-01, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Same thing I said with the NX-01. Remember, the NX-01 started off as a very difficult loop, very annoying loop, lots of complaints. NX-01 comes out, and now that loop is basically something you do 10 minutes a week. Same thing in there with the Reliant now. Reliant takes what is a loop that most people have to spend many hours a week doing if they want to get all their pulls, to now just like, oh, well, we were there, it happened, no big deal. So, yeah, there you go. That's what we're going to have to deal with. And then the decision for you has to be as a player, well, do I free-to-play path this, which is going to be at minimum 100 days, assuming there's not an event store that kicks in that has it inside. And we wouldn't expect this to be in an end of arc event store, right? Not anytime soon. Usually you wait 2 end of arc event stores to happen before you have a new ship get thrown in. Sometimes you can get it in the second event store. So the first event store after a ship releases, you can almost guarantee it's not going to be in there, right? It's not going to be in that event store. Sometimes it's in the one right after. More often it's in the one 2 after. So that's just how it historically has gone. It does vary. There's not always the exact same path, but that's what we've seen historically from this game. So Reliant going to be about 3 months to unlock, free to play, depending on where you're at as a player, which is why I was saying I'm debating on, do I get it for the level 32 account? Because I'm not going to really be able to grind it there and just buy it. Or, ooh, there's a scout in that system that y'all can't see. Or do I put it on my level 60 account? We'll see. Haven't decided. You're saying relativity in this event store. I'm saying that would be a strong possibility whenever the Wrath of Khan event store happens. So, yeah. Nobody is saying this is end of arc meaning event store. People are saying that, Mihai. I didn't say that. Could be, could not be. Who knows? What's up, Charles Cook? How you doing? Warner, good to see you. Do you know if there will be start sourcing Quasi anytime soon? I literally only need 3 shards to unlock him, but I don't see any sourcing anywhere. There is going to be more sourcing for those Strange New World officers dropping, yes. Oh, another trained fighter. All right, sorry, y'all. I'm grinding while also talking to y'all, so apologies. Let me scroll this down. There are new claims for the Reliant we need to talk about. So, additional benefits of owning and progressing the Reliant. This is very similar, if you mentioned the relativity, similar to the relativity having a daily claim. You're going to have the same thing here. Reliant exclusive ship mega claim, forbidden tech currency claims, and priority 1 away team claims. The Reliant exclusive ship mega claim is a daily claim in the factory store that gives you common, uncommon, rare, and epic Wrath credits, officer choice tokens, not to be confused with the Reliant officer choice tokens, augment reputation, Reliant parts, and standard Trit and Sigma Tritanium for G6. So, Tritanium sourcing, nice. Again, this is one of the reasons I'm debating which account do I get this on. And then you have the Reliant exclusive forbidden tech currency claims. Fusion rods, catalysts, protomatter, reactors. Then you have the priority 1, which is the one that I'm going to be focusing on. Planetary charts, that's to run those priority 1 away team missions. Standard and Sigma away team speed up. So all you Sigma players who are like, I need them. It was always planned, buddy. Don't worry. They knew in month 1 that was going to be one of your things that went, oh my gosh, I need Sigma speed ups. And they're like, I wonder where those could come from. Hey, look at that. We got a $100 answer. So there you go. And in addition, there is the Reliant tier up gifts every time you tier up from 1 to tier 18. So those curious how high this goes, just like the cube, plan to last you all the way into G6. You can receive common, uncommon, rare, and epic wrath credits, as well as Reliant officer tokens. Different than the choice officer tokens. So Touch Gameplay, good to see you. Sark's been such a word with the 100-hour resolution. Doesn't really make it better. See, I honestly disagree, Touch. I think this is just how the game runs. It's how it's always run, and to expect different is to set yourself up for disappointment and failure. I would also really stress this. This is why everybody who hears the sound of my voice has to ignore Scopely, ignore FOMO, because the people that struggle with the new hostiles that really need the new ship are the ones who were too rushed for their level anyway, generally speaking. Stop listening to Scopely. Stop listening to your G6 players who are telling you to level up. It's easy. Come on up here. It's super simple now. Ignore Scopely. Ignore that. Play your game slow so you don't get stuck in these quagmires they purposely design. They purposely design these quagmires. You can avoid them by ignoring all that FOMO and just chilling out. That way you don't need the Reliant to do your daily pulls. I do my single pulls every day on 60. Now I don't do them on this account, but this is only a level 32 account. So still, if there's any lesson to be learned, ignore FOMO, have fun. You're a quagmire, Lube. How you doing, my British friend? How are you doing? How are you doing? Are there any stats on Scotty? What do you mean stats? Like officer stats? I mean, he's an engineering officer. And then he may or may not have a loot ability, which has nothing to do with this, by the way. So, meh. That's how they get you. How they get some people, that's for sure. You said it exactly how I said it to you in my head. That's what I hoped. Good. Another Scotty? Yes. But we're getting the Scotty from the movies. It's a different Scotty, right? We're getting a different Scotty. We just had someone going to G5 my alliance with 100 million power. There's no way it's 100K power. Only a tier 4 Newton. I don't understand why they keep hamstringing themselves. People are allowed to play however they want to play. All I can do is warn folks. Like, look, if you go into G5 and all you have is a tier 4 Newton, you're not doing any loop that exists. Anything. You're going to be playing massive amounts of catch up. And that just is how it is. That's not me calling that player bad. That's just the choice they make. And as we've learned in modern day culture, one phrase that is constantly being repeated: consequence to action. There are consequences if you decide, and you can do this, if you want to level up and you want to go into G5 or G6 and not be ready, that's fine. You just got to play the catch-up game. Some people are okay with doing that, some aren't. So, Reliant officer tokens. Common Reliant choice has Pike, 5'11", Boar Queen, 4-star possible claims. The uncommon, Cisco, Tindy, Carol. The rare, Pike, Doctor, Enterprise E. And then Woke Carol, Woke Scott, and Woke Dejas Torah in the epics. It's tier 15 to 18 based on the tier of your Reliant. So, how to add the Reliant to your fleet. Instant command. A full unlock will be awaiting in the web store for commanders who want to experience the day of the ship on launch day. Get your $100 out, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you're going to have to buy it. All right. Or Path of Patience. Love. Look at this. Prefer a gradual approach. Look, I love that you love how they're wording things here. Prefer a gradual approach. You're almost making it sound negative, right? Start collecting Reliant blueprints and Wrath credits in the Augment Faction Store. The USS Reliant requires commanders to be Ops 26 and above and costs 100,000 common splicers for 2 ship BPs. So 100 days to do. Yeah. You went 50 to 53 yesterday. Have North cut to tier 5 already. Congrats, Mike. That's pretty awesome. We have a guy who can't crack 40 bases and is level 49. Yikes. But again, this is what I say. My goal is to help those players be better, because whether it was bad advice or whether it was just overexcitement, you wouldn't be the first person to move up really fast and then be like, crap, now I can't do anything. It's okay. We just got to work on it. We got to work on it. So let's see. Hold on. Let me looking for. Yeah, cool. That was it. And then your rep. Operations 28 plus with 18 upgrade tiers. I was just seeing if it listed rep. I don't think it has a rep lock. I think as long as you've progressed through the original augment, you're fine. As long as you've unlocked it, which you can do in what, level 18, if I remember correctly, with the Botany Bay. So that should be handled and good. There's your upgrading with tier up gifts. You have the Augment Prime Ordnance. Reliant owners with this Prime enjoy 50% more RAF credits on every claim. For those people who were saying that last month those Primes were poopy, oh look, now we have value in a Prime. You just had to wait a month. The deeper you tier, the richer these daily packs become. We just covered those. And specifically for Reliant owners, new favors to pay attention to. Officer Shard cost efficiency for the Retaliation Squad, Symbiosis Crew, Galaxy Quest, Mirror Universe Crew, and NX-01. Additional favors include advanced drafting, which adds an additional chest roll to your priority 1 ship VP bundles, very similar to how the NX-02 Columbia skin improves the Voyager sourcing. Augment Warp Core, which drastically increases the warp range of your Reliant, of course, and all of the new favors can be unlocked with common, uncommon, rare, epic, etc. So instead of adding this into the Starships research tree, favors in the Augment faction. Yay. Woo! Right. Woo! Does the 7,000 loot apply to the chest? No. At least I'm pretty sure no. I could ask D again. I feel like we talked about that last month, but I don't think so. I'm sure it's only for the raw drops. All right. Another fugly Fed design. Look here, Hellcats. We're not about to shame the greatest Star Trek movie of all time. The Miranda class may not be pretty, but she's beautiful. So shut your face, or I will shut it for you, Hellcats. We do not besmirch The Wrath of Khan, the greatest Star Trek movie ever, followed by Undiscovered Country and First Contact. You will be ridiculed and shamed for doing that on this stream. You can do it on other streams, probably one of those British streams, not here. No, nay. Yeah. You got Carol to 350%. What a waste. I wouldn't say Carol's a waste. I would just say if you spent a lot of time and effort into Carol, maybe you say, hey, I'm going to free to play the Reliant just so I can get my money's worth out of Carol. Whatever you decide to do. Remember, you do not need things day one. Can't stress it enough. You don't need it day one. You don't need it day one. Right? I know the game tells you you do. You don't. If you want it, go for it. Big phrase that a heavy spender used to say before they quit the game that I loved and I've stuck with. Spend because you want to, not because you have to. The game makes you feel like you have to. Ignore that. If you want it, like if you look at the Reliant and go, dang it, I want to be one of the people day one that has one, get it. If you want to get the Augment skin, because there's a hijack skin for the Reliant. Of course there is, right? Of course there's a hijack skin for it. If you want to spend extra money and get the skin and the ship, your prerogative. I don't care what you do. It's your money. Spend it how you want to. Just don't ask Rev to do it. So, Reliant be uses for a fair few tiers for higher up hostiles. This is also true, Lube. As we were saying earlier, if you're like a level 55 player, you might be expected to buy the pack that takes it to tier 5 for that to really feel like it's doing anything for you. And if you're a level 66 player, buy probably 2 packs to go ahead and take that up to where you want to be, maybe even more than that. We've never seen that strategy before in STFC, so I could be talking completely out of my bum, but why would they do that? It's impossible. It's impossible. Why would they do that? That doesn't seem like something they would do. No, surely not. Chatterfang's here. Chatterfang can confirm they would never do something. All right. What's this about Scotty? Well, it's one of the officers you're getting this month, and he may or may not have a loot ability that has nothing to do with the augments. So don't ask. I'm just gonna be glad to have him, to be honest with you, because I love Wrath of Khan and I love adding that into my game, even if some things don't really make a lot of sense that are coming. Pay to get it good. Can't see that happening. I know, right? Scopely would never look at the spenders who have supported this game financially and kept it up and say, let's punish them by saying they have to spend $500-600 extra after unlocking the ship for it to be worth something. They would never do that. Never do that. Absolutely never. Now, you were hoping a lower deck warp range boost? No. No. Can't believe Scotty went woke. That's a good play. Look, I've been calling them woke characters because it's fun. But yeah, you'll have Scotty and you'll have... Did they announce the other one yet? Well, they did not. I wonder who it could be. I wonder who it could be. No idea. No idea. Yep. Aren't people struggling with common loot taking up too much cargo? Depends on the player. I'm sure that is affecting some. That doesn't bother me. So, doesn't bother me. It's in the magazine. Yeah, that magazine is also in my Discord if y'all missed it. So, those that don't know, VIP gets a magazine every month telling them what's coming. So that's how the VIPs, if they're in your Alliance chat talking about Savick and Scotty coming, that's how they know. So that's how they know. Quazel, good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in, Quazel. So, the other officer is that earworm alien thing. Do expect to see earworms, but not as an officer. So, we need all the crew from Wrath of Khan. Completely agree. Like, look, I said it before Wrath of Khan came out, so y'all can go ahead and call me a shill if you want to. I said it years ago. Wrath of Khan comes out, Rev is spending money. It just is how it is, right? I'm buying the ship. I was always going to buy the ship, right? Frustrations or not with Scopely, it's Wrath of Khan. It's one of my favorite childhood memories. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely going to be enjoying some Wrath of Khan. It just comes down to, as far as game goes, where's the value for you? Are you going to get it? And how are you going to address that? So, how are you going to address it? Right? For me personally, Wrath of Khan last month it had some rough points, but my issue with Wrath of Khan last month was really for live ops. I really don't have an issue with the mechanic itself. If I had to complain about something in the mechanic, it would be the common, uncommon, rare, and epic currency. Like, I hate 4 currencies. If I had to gripe about something, that's my big feature gripe. Most of the hostiles in terms of strength, I don't have an issue with. I have an issue with live ops saying, hey, go hit 300 of those. That's where I had an issue last month. So I really have no big issue with the content itself. I definitely have some, like, hey man, don't lie. And I expressed this to them. I talked to Tiger and D and several other people about the things that me and my community didn't like, y'all being part of the community. But overall, I was fine with it, just knowing exactly how those loops work, right? NX01 type of loop, NSEA type of loop. The ship is going to make it better. And that's exactly what the Reliant does. It's going to make it better. It's going to take it and turn it into a very easy, don't have to do too much loop. Erwin, good to see you. Is Wrath of Khan a 3-arc feature? New Scotty, new McCoy, but no Uhura, no new Kirk. Seems wrong. It does seem wrong. It would certainly make sense for them to stop doing the 2-month loop, which, let's see, we've had, what, 4 in a row? Let me look that up real quick. How many in a row have we had that have been 2-month loops? I can tell you because we track this information. All right, STFC arc history. So section 31, 2, Year of Hell, 2, Q Continuum, 2, Symbiosis, 2, Galaxy Quest, 1, Mirror Universe, 2, Gorn Invasion, 2. So we've had 7 straight months of 2-month arcs or less. So, yeah. Be nice if we got back to our 3-monther, right? Be nice. Be nice. Grease says, a little off subject. I found your video from 2 years ago on base crewing to defend against raiding. Do we need an updated video with all the new officers since then, or is the video still good? The video is still good. If there was one thing that needs to be added to the base defense video, it's Lorca. Because if you're going to do base defense, especially with spenders, you need this ability right here. Nope, wrong one. You need this ability right here. Deadly Station Reload. Lowers your weapons warm-up time during station defense if they have been increased by another effect. You need this to counter the Prime Station Delay. If they have Prime Station Delay and you don't have this, your base defense is kind of worthless. If you have this, then Oceans and Bold Defense go back to being useful. But the key then is having Lorca, which is free to playable, right? Everybody can get Lorca free to play in Incursions event stores and through the Vindicator. But you have to have Deadly Station Reload, especially if we're talking about you being an upper level player going against 60s and 70s. If you don't have Deadly Station Reload, then all those Ocean and base defense videos I made are worthless. If you do have that, which negates those primes, then it becomes a little bit better. So, yeah. Regular event store helps, newer players, I'd say. I would say that it can be good. Look, I understand that it is good to have event stores every 2 months. Like, I can get that logic. But here's my rebuttal to it. If you have good event store type items like the Officer Exchange, that makes up for it. So like if I have a 3-month arc, that means I have to wait longer for an event store. However, every month I get stuff like this. That's a fair trade in my opinion. To me. Now, some people might disagree. I do like, from a lore perspective, especially something like Wrath of Khan. Wrath of Khan deserves more than 2 months and like just a scopely, we slapped the Reliant in the game and we mentioned Khan. We need more than that. That's just my opinion. I think something as iconic as the Wrath of Khan deserves more than 2 months of like, coverage. Now that could just be me being a Star Trek fan. Other people can disagree with that. And from a gaming, like the game itself perspective, I can understand a disagreement. For me, as a diehard Trek fan, I really, really want to see more than just a, look, we gave you Fleet Commander Khan and we gave you the Reliant. Where's my Enterprise? I had very long, in-depth conversations with the game designers from this arc, specifically showing them which Enterprise it needed to be in this game, right? Are we going to get that? Maybe not, right? But we'll see. But I don't want to end it with like, oh, the Genesis device was just that. And the Reliant is a special ship, and then you never get the Enterprise, and you never got Kirk. Like, if this is the only Kirk we get, I'm disappointed. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that hailing frequency, and I am very appreciative that that hailing frequency is free to play. I'm not trying to make everything I say negative. They did some really good things last month. Fleet Commander Khan, day 1 free to play. We have a level 48 G4 player who is already free to play ground out Fleet Commander Khan. Crazy, right? Free to play, 100%. Didn't spend a dime. They wouldn't ground out. I love that that happened. But there's so much from this movie that is iconic that needs to be in the game. Needs to be in the game. That's just my opinion. So I would actually be disappointed if it was only 2 months, right? And I say that for Undiscovered Country, even Search for Spock. Heck, give me literal whales I need to transport. I don't care, right? That'd be Voyage Home, FYI. So 2 months would be disappointing for me personally. Be disappointing for me personally. So anyway, back to y'all's comments. The officer thing was literally better than any event store arc this year. See, I would disagree. Look, I do love the officer thing, Sugar Fat Man. The officer event on this account let me max Chin. Chin is now maxed out. Like, that is huge, man. I've got maxed out Chin, and I got Nurse Chapel to tier 2. The only real gripe I have is that players level 39 and below can't get access to the Voyager officers, so I can't like upgrade my B'Elanna Torres, and that's really annoying, right? I can't upgrade B'Elanna Torres. Like, what's that? But I got Nurse Chapel to tier 2, and I got Chin max. That is insane. Like, this officer token last month in May, one of the best things free to play have had access to, especially as low level players. Absolutely nuts. So, there's definitely good to be found, even though there was a lot of frustration that's very valid, and we deserve to, or we should scream at them when things are bad. But when things are good, we should also scream, good job. Free to play sourcing for Fleet Commander Khan in 2 different ways on day 1. Huge thumbs up from Rev. The only thing I would add is I think it should get added to the Vindicator long term, which I did talk to Hammy about. Like, look, man, I get it. Not saying it needs to happen like in the next 60 days, but long term, the Vindicator, especially if you want to maintain the value of the Vindicator should have sourcing for every fleet commander in the game. Like, that's where it should get added, just like Epic should get added into transporter patterns. So. Oh, Sugar Fatman, do you see the Voyager officers? So maybe it's not 39, maybe it's 34. But this is what I got. Maybe it's 34 and below and I misquoted. Maybe it's 34 and below. This is what I got. Like, that was like my one gripe. Like, there's some good things they're offering me. Don't get me wrong. There's great things they're offering me. I can get the strike teams, right? I can get PvP loaded out and Badgie, right? I can go over here into the Mirror Universe and get most of the good Mirror Universe, like Pelia, there's Chapel. I can get all those. I can't get B'Elanna Torres, Neelix, or Harry Kim. So it's probably like level 35 and above they locked the Voyager officers in. But either way, lower level should have access to those officers, in my opinion. I mean, again, and I feel like I'm nitpicking things because overall, like, it is a really good addition. It truly was a good addition. So they can have the money too. Give me things to buy that make sense and help the game. All the cosmetics, well, save a few to earn for bragging rights, but dump a ton, customize your profile. Yeah, there you go. And he says, you know, they won't add it. We can't reuse mechanics to put officers in the game or bring them to patterns. We've got to have a new loop for everything. I mean, that's not necessarily true because they update transporter patterns every year. So really the argument is we want them to do it more often than they do it. But they do it every year. They do it every year. So, let's come up here and hit some more of these. I finished my stuff and then I get all my dailies done. Do your dailies if you haven't already. Don't forget, it is Anomalous Phenomenon Sunday. So if you haven't already, you need to do your Anomalous Phenomenon. Phenomenon. Da, na, 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 na. Phenomenon. Dun, da, da, da. If you haven't already, you need to do them. All right, get that going. Get that cooking. There we go. 40% chance. Love me some away teams. Love me some away teams. Do I have this ready? Ooh. Ooh, that's tough. Traits. Barrett is currently mining. I might bring Barrett home and throw Barrett up there. Might have to. Also, why are your stats so low, Nero? Have I not leveled Nero up? I mean, I know he's tier 1, but like, bro, why are your stats? No, your stats are just that awful. My Atlanta. Get your stats up there, buddy. All right. Game has gotten better compared to when you first started. I would 100% agree with that, David. And I know, especially our newer players, like Server 710 just had a massive, colossal Scopely F up, right? And that reminds me, we're supposed to be getting another comp chest for that. And I need to follow up on that today because it hasn't come out yet. But Scopely F ups happen. But the game, I do believe today, you compare the game right now to 2 years ago. Whether you're starting the game brand new or you're an existing player, it's significantly better in every phase. Little things like the independent archives getting added have drastically improved the game. Like even for this account, this is a low-level account that has had $15 spent on it. I think it's 15 bucks or 25 bucks. I got the extra builder, extra researcher. That's it. So $25. And I can progress pretty daggum quickly and have all the things. You can even look at the officers I've unlocked. Again, this is not buying anything. I've got, let's just do it by, let's think about rarity. But I mean, look at all the rares I have. Some really important ones like Chapel. I've already got Pipe Moreau done. Right, I had Pipe Moreau done in the 20s. Right, I've got several epics. I think I've got, let's see, 3, 6, 9. I got like 14 epics now. Right, I mean, just what the game is giving you is drastically improved. So there are still some major, very irritating and very problematic issues that arise, but in terms of the game itself, better game. Definitely a better game. Com says, as I call it, Disco Taxi Sunday, because I do that event by skipping, warping my ships for everything else. So what I typically do on Sundays, and I'll be honest, I recommend other people do this as well, is I do it with my Borg Cube. If you were like me, and in your Alliance tournaments, you unlock the Transwarp Cube skin. I use that with my cube. I jump. That gets me my Anomalous Sunday event done, but also helps me very quickly do my cube event so I can have all the juice to do my cube turns. So, yeah, could have both. Could have both. Remember to wait on event reset before doing the Franklin pillars. Likely to be another event for doing them. Denwit is correct. If you're talking about this upcoming Tuesday, where you expect to have the Franklin and the Franklin A added into here, do not do your tiers at 9 a.m. Doing Central Standard Time. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time when the event resets, expect there to be events for Franklin and Franklin A. So when you have the Franklin and Franklin A get added to the archives after the maintenance on Monday night, Tuesday morning, depending on where you're at in the world, don't immediately go spam your Franklins, because then you're going to be the person going, well, Rev, I had no idea. You should have had an idea. Let's make a ticket. Let's go deal with customer support, who still has tickets from 3 weeks ago they've not helped players with. So, yeah. Yay. All right. You got lucky not getting hit on 710? Same. I was in territory when that happened. So, I think I just didn't have enough for them to care. Which maintenance do we wait for? Second or third? I mean, generally I'll wait for, I'll also add this real quick. There's a reason that my Battle Pass giveaway stream, and if y'all aren't following on Twitch, Battle Pass giveaway is this Tuesday. There's a reason my Battle Pass giveaway stream waits till 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, because I give an hour for lag and event resets to happen so that y'all all don't get stuck in the mud when I'm trying to give away Battle Passes, because there's nothing more awkward than trying to give away a Battle Pass for STFC when the game isn't working. Like, that's very awkward. So if y'all want to be part of our Battle Pass giveaway, these Battle Passes are not sponsored by Scopely. They're sponsored by you, the player base, who donate to make sure this happens. Shout out to the players like Virtual Army and Texas Guy, who donate to make sure that we have Battle Passes to give away this Tuesday. The Battle Cash giveaway. Be there 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, don't base in TC? Well, TC has a lot of benefits to basing there, especially as a lower level player. So, all right. I see you have Lorca in the first commander chair like I do, or my other commander skills being used also. Yes, the only difference between chair 1 and chair 2 through 6 is that chair 1 is the only chair that can use the active ability. Only the first chair can do that. Any other you have up here is working. So, that's the only difference. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and get our Q trials done while we're sitting here together having a good old time. Was I doing these? Yeah, I was doing those. Probably gonna go grab Talon, but we'll send it out there anyway and see what happens. We'll see what happens. So is the Enterprise refit coming? I certainly hope so. You can't have the Reliant without the original movie Enterprise, even if it's a skin for the normal Enterprise. I agree with you, and this is something that I have said very loudly. Whether Scopely will do it, well, you and I together will wait and see. We shall. All right, let's go ahead and just drop this on little 3-star note, and then I've got my Armada officer. Speaking of officers I've unlocked at 32, this is my typical Armada run. I need the warp range with Grush, but Cisco, Miles, Grush, and I'm working on Changeling Kira, and here's my PvP run. I mean, like, the thought of having this at level 32 is crazy to me. You know, the fact that this is what's available. I have good officers like Yuki that are available as well. That's what I was using on PvP before. Probably should, just use Khan, because we're going to knock him out. Why do we knock him out? So I can use him in away teams. Because Grush has such good stats. If only I could afford to upgrade the guy. If only I could afford to upgrade the guy. I don't have the command badges. I don't have the independent credits, nor do I have that. So, I'm stuck. But we're working on it. We're working on it. You're welcome, Mean G. Happy to help. That's my job, and I love doing it. I'm very blessed to have the role that y'all have given me. I'm gonna go ahead and do more of these, get more of those Apex research medals. How is Fleet Commander Con free to play? Can you walk this through real quick? Yeah, there's two ways. Number one, in the away team's research, this is actually the harder way to do it. If you go to your away team's research, Fleet Commander Con is down there in the epics. So you get to your epic research and then come on down. You got con, quests, etc. There's your con right there. All right. Now the easier way, and again, this is technically doable in G4, but it will take a while, is you hit 60 million reputation in augment. Once you hit 60 million reputation, that opens up the repeatable cons challenges, which are just repeatable missions. By farming those repeatable missions, you can get Fleet Commander Con free to play. We've already got a couple, I know for sure one G4 who has done it. He was working on it this weekend. So getting to 60 million reputation and grinding him out that way via the repeatable missions or via the away teams. Those are the two free to play ways to get con. Can you get two cons? No. No. But those are the dos ways. Would you want below deck officers that would increase ship's warp range? I mean, sure. Who wouldn't want that? That's been asked for years, since below deck abilities have come out. Sure. Will having the Franklin A mean you can master the Franklin IA? It should. We'll see if they do that correctly, unlike the Devore. I was specifically told, by, and again, I no longer have an NDA, but there are some relationships that I have, the people that talk to me regardless if I have an NDA, and I don't want to, ruin their trust. They specifically told me to not answer that question. So, whatever. I'm not going to give you the answer that I know because I was asked not to, and I'm not going to burn a bridge unnecessarily. We'll see. We'll see. Command badge bottleneck hurts my feelings. Remember, to get more command badges, do your disco every single Sunday so that you can get those turn-ins. Don't forget, you also have your Apex on Thursdays to give you more of those badges. And then last but not least, do your battle passes. Battle passes pay out badges. So if you need more, there you go. If a G3 player was to grind to 60 million rep, they'd probably be the first one to do it. Yes, Sugar Fat Man. For those that don't know, Sugar Fat Man, the strongest level 39 in the game. He's become the new John Connor. Sugar Fat Man, if you want to do it just so you can brag, feel free. I will show off Sugar Fat Man's Fleet Commander free-to-play con if you want to be the crazy person. And to be very clear, you are absolutely insane if you grind out 60 million augment reputation level 39. Sorry, I'm calling it like I see it. But yes, I will shout you out and I will let everybody know that you are the best 39 in the game if that's what you choose to do. That's absolutely crazy bonkers to rev. But if that's what you choose to do, go for it. And we will definitely brag about how amazing you are and better at the game than everybody else at your level. Absolutely. I'm still trying to get the Devore parts to get the last component upgrade. I'm working on the Devore as well on this account. In fact, I should be mining that right now, but I'm not. I should probably go put that on a node somewhere. Can G5 rare ships punch up to hit level 60 augment hostiles? It is possible, as in I know some who can do it. It's very difficult. You're talking about that G5 rare probably needing to be around, again, I'm giving you rough numbers, be around 1 billion power, but also have 300% ISO damage. It's doable. Like, it's happened, just like we have a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, we have a handful of level 56 players who've completed the Q trials. They're done. Like the 4-star ones, not just the 3-star ones. They're done. Completo. They've done it. Is that the common player experience? It's not the common player experience. Is it doable? It's doable. Is it fun? I don't know if I'd say that, but that's very impressive. So it's definitely doable, though. It depends on what your goals are. Like, I was talking to a level 62 today, and he's the second strongest 62 in the game, and he was asking me for direction. I said, look, man, honestly, my direction is two things. Either for pride and glory, you should wait it out and become the number 1 62, or you've been ready to go to 63, unlock the 63 uncommons, and start working on your hazard particle research and getting your cube upgraded. You know, if you're the number 2 power at your level, then you either need to be number 1 out of pride's sake, or you just need to go ahead and move up. So it just depends on what your goals are. And there's no wrong answer. If you are out there saying, hey, my goal is to be that guy, cool, be that guy. Who am I to say you're weird? You are weird, but who am I to say? So, be nice if we could get the mirror destinations in one transaction instead of one rift at a time. It would be Future Freddy. However, that sadly is not possible. But I'm right there with you, and I've said that since Mirror came out. That would be great. Sadly, not possible. So, Wolfpack says, I just found out 2 weeks ago that when the Q trials are too hard, you can go back and play lower level ones. You can. Yes, absolutely. And I encourage everybody to always get your Q trial daily done. There's no reason to not do your Q trial daily. Even if all you do is launch them and ignore them, do that. Like if you're a low level player who has not beat the 1-star trials, just launch them so you can get the daily done. But if you are, say, stuck in the 3-star trials, well, then go beat the 2-star trials so that you can get proto matter. Remember, every Q trial win gives you proto matter. You need proto matter, and this building upgrading gives you more proto matter. So never ignore the Q trials, as I have done here. I've ignored them more than I should. So, advice for everybody out there: always do your Q trials. Always. Didn't know you can go back, and now you do. That's why we're here to inform you. There are a lot of little tips and tricks that people can miss out on, and we're hopefully going to help give you those answers. I hate giving Grush on that one. Only 13%. Do I have anybody else trait-wise? Eurydice is currently on. Darn you, Eurydice, where are you? You must be out doing something. Well, let's do this real quick. There we go, 50% chance for some more credits. I'll always take faction credits at this level. Always take faction credits. So we get those two cooking. Let's see. Yeah, so Q trials, just to show y'all. If you've done these, just relaunch them, beat them, and you'll get this reward again. And remember, the building magnifies how much that pays out, right? So you get more than that. The building will improve the amounts that you're getting. So you always want to upgrade the building as well. And if you did the officer choices that I did, the reason I went after Chin and went after Chapel is because it allows me to push up even further in the 2-star trials, which once you get these 2-star trials done, well, then you have the Metreon Cascade, which is still one of the better free-to-play PvE items in STFC. Q trial question? Shoot it in Fantasy Tabby. Are the always-on FC skills active, even if FC is in a seat? Yes, hence the always-on. If an ability is always on, and every single FC has like 5 of these, they are always on, as the name implies. Always. Always. Even if she died, she's in a coffee nebula drowning right now. Always on. Always. Always. Then you have these types, which are on when on duty. On duty meaning in the chair. So right now, my Kirk, always on abilities are on. So the ones that I've actually researched, which I actually don't think are any of them, none of those are, okay, never mind, I have this one. Salvage operations is working right now. Right now. Always on. On duty requires in the chair. Activatable one, well, that one you have to activate. Then you have some that are selectable. So the selectable ones, only the one that is selected in that group. So for example, the very top rung, you can have both of these researched, but only one will work. It is on duty and selectable. So then you can only have one of those, going like this one over here. Only one of these would work. Even if I upgraded these, they would do nothing because I have to select them. So you have always on abilities that are always on, no matter what. You have on duty abilities that are working if you're in the chair. You have on duty selectable abilities, which requires you to choose which one you're using at any given time. And you of course can change those and then select different ones with a timer. And then last but not least, with 2 fleet commanders, Khan and Lorca, you have an activatable ability that can only be used in the first chair. There you go. Is the Q bug that I have a 5.2 billion power hostile? No, that's not a bug at all. That's normal. Yeah, that's normal. The 3-star trials have that. I mean, I can pull up server, I think I have server 20 pulled up. I can show you that. That's normal. You can beat them. There are level 56 players who've completed Q trials. Here, I'll recall this because that's definitely OPC. And I haven't done the Borg run yet. So I'm going to swap my Borg into the main seat so I don't forget, and then we'll switch over to our level 60 account. I feel like Tabby already answered that question in my Discord for you, but kill it, pop it up. Whoosh. There we go. Normal. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So level 56s can take these down. Oh, that one doesn't count. That's a Borg Pro. Yeah, 5.1 build. Easy peasy. 5.1 build. Obviously, I failed that with a small ship. No, I think I just didn't do it. I think I launched it and forgot about it. So yeah, it's definitely normal. Now, what was a problem is there was a bug. That's what got finished doing these. There was a bug with the newest hostiles that just came out for G6 players. G6 have like their new special hostiles. Those were getting thrown in here, and those were in the trillions. Now that was a bug. There were hostiles that were appearing that were trillions. That was a bug. So how they currently are is not a bug, but that particular instance was a bug. I need to do my Q trials a day. So. If I research increased mass cargo on all ships, will that make much of a difference in my amalgam rating of base? No. How far do you think you should be in Q trials at level 46? Into the 3 stars, but not beating them. You should definitely have beat the 2 stars for sure. Hey Q, welcome in. Good to see you. Use Fleet Commander Janeway for Q trials? Yes, Fleet Commander Janeway is very useful for Q trials. That reminds me, if I do Q trials a day, I need to throw her up there. So I'll dump Kirk and throw her up there, and then because I need to finish maxing my Q trials. Right, I'm right here. 6499 is to get that last 56. You got to finish the last 2. But I'm basically done with Q trials. I've definitely shown that I can do them. I just haven't finished them, and I need to go finish them. So, is Monavine field training just a grind for those 3,000 hostiles? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Been having issues with defeating the new hijacked hostiles. I'm level 46. I have a tier 5 Newton. Use the Voyager crew, Stranger World crew, and suddenly to beat them, I'm trying to hit level 40s. How are you not able to beat level 40s? I don't know what your crews and research levels are, but that's probably gonna be a thing, as well as your below deck officers. Make sure you're stacking the correct below deck officers. Self promo time. Have you watched my video about taking on the new Augment Exile hostiles? I would assume yes, based on you saying that you're using Voyager crews and Stranger World crews. But I'm surprised at 46 you're having troubles with the 40. Did you get Khan as a severance gift? Nope, did not. I did not. Seems like you need to have all 3 4-star Q trials before you can go tier 11 on the Tantalus. Yes. Yes. You do. Thought the on-duty abilities for commanders didn't work unless they were in the first slot. Nope. The first slot only matters specifically for the activatable ability. For the activatable ability. So, there you go. All right, let's do this so I don't forget about it. Give me more. Give me more. I need more. I wish this had 5-star in it, but meh. It's free stuff. Free is free. Who am I to complain about free? All right, let me go ahead and do my archives. I'm gonna do the claim all button. Remember, there are 2 in here that don't work correctly because of officers being maxed. So if you want to get all the transporter patterns you possibly can, don't hit the claim all button. Go manually claim things like the amalgam and such. But Rev doesn't care, so Rev just pulls. But just a reminder. So just a reminder. By the time I free play the Reliant, I would be able to handle the hostiles that supposedly going to help within the game. While that might be a true statement, Bob, here's the flip side of that. You're not going to handle them as well as the Reliant can. That's just a statement of fact. Like, you're not. The Reliant can do this. It's kind of like saying, if I tier up, I can do the Zindi loop without the NX-01. That's technically a true statement. Is that anywhere near as efficient? No, not at all. But could you do it? Yes. Yes, you could. Absolutely could. But the Reliant's a must-have for this loop. It just is. Now, I'm not trying to shill that. I'm not saying you need to go buy it. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm just saying it is what it is. It is absolutely a must-have, specifically for the Augment Exile loop. And I mean, just you're going to make your gameplay so much easier and better. That doesn't mean that, you know, you have to go and buy it, but I would say that everybody should free to play grind it. And once you have it, just like people have experienced with the NSEA and with the NX-01, your gameplay gets significantly better because you no longer have to just sit on those loops. So, yeah, it's just, you can definitely do things without specialty ships, but specialty ships, as their name would imply, are special. They do something really well. And at the end of the day, you and I, we all know, who play this game and have for any amount of time, that this game is a game of way too much grinding. So anything that we can do to lower the grind, we got to do. We got to do. This, the Reliant will do everything in the Augment Exile loop worlds better than even a level 70 Crenshaw will do. So, you know, it's just one of those that if I can make my gameplay better by being less time consuming, that's the value. And that's exactly what the Reliant's going to do. So, what ops level for 5-star uncommon ship parts in the refinery? Uncommons is 53. And rares are rares are 55. So, all right. Let me see. Do I have Cisco in either one of these? No, no Cisco there. No Cisco there. And we're not currently running this Jadzia one, but I could. Where is Jadzia? I'm sorry, Garrick. I need Garrick. Could run Garrick. And then attack stats. Pawn. There we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. We like that. Not that I really need Jadzia, but I do need those. I do need more Pioneer Crest. So, get going. Go on now. Go on now, get. Go on now, get. There we go. What's up, B? How you doing? Thank you for the kind wishes to me and my family. I greatly appreciate that. My family are doing well. They are happy, healthy, and annoying, just as any good family should be. I'm a very blessed man. I'm a very blessed man. All right, let's go ahead and get this done. This is what I was talking about using the cube for. We're just going to jump here, start working on our Anom Phenom, and at the same time, we'll get multiple loops done because I'm going to spam these and do it that way. Can I show how officer presets work? Sure. So, personally, I hate the below deck ones, but you just come in, you have whatever officers are on your ship. So in this case, let me just make a group. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna throw officers. Do not do this. You know what? I'm gonna do this. That way it's full synergy. So we're gonna say, hey, that's the officers that we want on there. And we wanna use this group regularly. So then you would just come down here and save it. And then if we back out, discard, we come into the assign screen again. And we just say, hey, we want to use that crew. We hit apply, automatically applies them as long as they're not like in an away team or something like that. Now you can also save your below decks presets, which I hate. So I never do that because my below decks stay where they're at any given time. I don't move my below decks around very often. So should the faction hunt get a rework? Reward faction hunt's not really worth it. Well, you're in G6, Ming. I think my counter to that would be not everything needs to stay relevant for everybody for all times. Because Lord knows G6 doesn't need what faction hunt points out because they have many other ways to get things like faction credits. I don't think that everything needs to be updated at all times. Just like I don't think Swarm Sunday needed to be updated for G6. I think Swarm Sunday needed to be finished, which it was, and then you get to something else. Honestly, I don't think, because remember, I say this all the time. When it comes to how Scopely works, you don't get all the things. So if you fight really hard to get something like that updated, that means something else doesn't get done. And to me, there's just way more important things that you can have added to the game or fixed or changed that are so much more valuable than worrying about getting faction updated for G6. I just ignore it. I just ignore it. You know, do faction hunt where it's valuable, like as a lower level, and then don't worry about it. That's juicy. That's a tiny rot. Whoa, that is a baby Rotaran. That's just a little baby. That's just a little baby. That's a tiny Rotaran. I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna look at him funny. Good evening to you as well, Limitless. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming in and stopping by. We're talking STFC, talking about some of the new stuff coming, like the Reliant, Scotty, Savick. Just having a good time and preparing as much as we can. And don't forget, reminder to everybody, if you are here, Battle Pass giveaway, Battle Cash giveaway, this upcoming Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's not how big it is, it's how you use it. Nope, I'm pretty sure how big it is matters. Nope, I'm pretty sure how big it is matters. It matters. It matters. Trying to decide if you're going to buy the ship or free to play it. I can tell you this. Level 26 and above have the ability to free to play it. Will take 100 days. It has 4 ship abilities, all designed around making the augment loop easy peasy. How much do you value the augment loop? All the things they're adding into it, with more things getting added into the augment loop. So even if you looked at the augment loop and went, well, I don't really know if that is that good for me, there's other things getting added into the augment loop here. Oh man, I hope they don't touch that one. You gotta decide if that time saving is worth it, as you always do. That's what it always comes down to, is the time saving worth it. And if you decide it is, then go for it. If you decide if it's not, then wait it out. So, if it avoids you 100 days of grinding, is that worth $100? Basically $1 a day is the penalty you pay to have it now. Is that worth it to you? And I'm not like trying to lean you in either direction. I'm just telling you the questions that you have to ask internally. Is $1 a day worth it to save you frustration? And if you answer yes, easy peasy. If you answer no, also easy peasy. If you don't think that's worth it, grind it out. No wrong answer. I will say this though. I will be shocked, absolutely shocked, if this is not the best-selling specialty ship in years. I am personally expecting anywhere from 3 to 5 million in gross revenue on ship sales in combination with ship upgrades. Hands down, easily. They should rent out those ships for $1 per day. Will probably make more. Absolutely not. Anybody who thinks this game would make more by doing like $1 transactions, no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Definitely not. The only reason they make as much as they do is because of the price points they have. And it's our fault for paying them. But yeah, they would make way less money if they lowered on the price point. Skip the grind this month with the expectations of the ship coming. Chatterfang has been around a while, and Chatterfang knows what's up. Chatterfang's not a noob. Chatterfang knows. You're like me, Wrath of Khan is easily the best Star Trek movie. Look, I think Undiscovered Country and First Contact deserve to have their names mentioned, but that's about as far as I'll go. That's about as far as I'll go. Their names are mentioned. I mentioned them. Those are movies. Wrath of Khan is number 1. So, besides the Alliance Tournament, is there any other place you can get the Kashar artifact? Money, money, money. Money. And I would not buy it, because the Kashar is still not 100%. So, will the ship be good at tier 1, or does it need to be higher? Depends on what level you are. If you're level 60, level 66, level 70, tier 1 is not going to do you much. You're going to need to buy the pack or wait it out. Now, the benefit is, even at tier 1, you're going to be able to start working on the unlock materials, because it has a claims chest every day that you claim to get unlock materials for the ship. So, you know, even just having it, you're going to be able to start upgrading it sooner than anybody else. So, is there a better place to find Metacruise than John Siskar's site? Revdeuce's YouTube channel. Honestly, I haven't bought a ship since the NX01, and will probably get the Reliant. Event store currency bonus event plus turning on active grind to pass him is hard to pass on. There you go. There you go. I'm a friend of paying for content I enjoy rather than preventing frustration. I'm not a friend of this new augment loop because of level 33. It just takes ages for one pull. Hey, I'm right there with you. I was just talking about for my level 32 account. I was just talking about that. First Contact is your favorite. Second is close. Well, I mean, it's okay, Caleb. You're allowed to be wrong. I'll never shame you for being wrong. You're just wrong. Okay? I'll never shame you for being horribly wrong. Disfiguredly wrong. Like, holy crud. Have you been more wrong about anything in your life? Probably not. This is the most wrong you've ever been. And I still love you for it, Caleb. Still love you. Tier 1 of the Reliant will already be good to farm trophies for everyone. Makes maxing all of Khan's skills way easier. This is true. Like, even a brand new one is going to be useful, but it probably won't. Let's say if you're a higher level, which I was referring earlier, if you're a level 60 or if you're a G5 or G6 player, it's not replacing your grind. You're still going to need to go out there with your main ship and grind like the 60s, because a tier 1 one is not going to do that. That said, long term, it will obviously replace that, just like the NX01 and the NSCA. Greetings from the UK. I agree with you. Wrath of Khan is the best Star Trek movie ever, but First Contact is my number 2, and I respect that. So, you're both wrong. Voyage Home is the best movie. All right, now Vinny is just trying to be argumentative. We're going to ignore Vinny. Nobody has Voyage Home as the number 1. Vinny's just trying to be a contrarian. I respect the play, Vinny. A good troll attempt, but I saw through it. I respect you anyway. So, you missed the ship unlocks being in the Elite BP. Justin, that happened one time. Once. You act like that was a regular thing and they took it away. It happened one time. Free ship, full unlock if wanted, all critical crewing required, right? Yeah. 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 All right, what else we got? Even at tier 1, you can just throw it into a low system to auto grind the uncommons. You will be able to pretty easily grind the D7s in certain systems. And depending on what below decks you decide to devote to it, what I'll be doing is throwing my Reliant out there overnight. So I'll have my good below decks officers. So it's going to do some work. So I got you. It's okay, Vinny. I love you and I respect it. Best Star Trek is Star Trek Insurrection. It got you into Star Trek. I'll just say this, Pablo. You've got a very low threshold for good, and I'll appreciate it because that means you probably love all Star Trek, and I can respect that. Because that means you're like me. Now, is that my favorite? No. But there's no Star Trek that exists that I can't watch. The worst Star Trek ever made, movie-wise, is Final Frontier. The second worst Star Trek movie ever made is Section 31. But I'll still watch both of them because they're Star Trek, and I love Star Trek. The biggest cube you've heard of, 170 billion-ish. 170 billion is the biggest cube I've heard of, seen. Worst TV show is Star Trek Voyager. That is my worst Star Trek show is Voyager. All right. We'll grind those Reliants. It'll help with that loot too. Oh, I'm really hopeful to OPC hunt Reliants. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you enjoy the podcast, Ripple, well, thank you very much. We're recording episode 2 of the podcast tomorrow night. If you're out there, I'm going to mention it because they mentioned it. If you're out there, you say, hey, Rev, how can I support you? Because you and Scopely are at war and you're no longer an NDA content creator. Well, good news. I don't care. But better news. This means that I can speak freely about all kinds of things, and we're doing that on our website. So if you'd like to support me personally so I can continue giving away battle passes and continue doing content, and you'll get access to cool things like movie night, merch discounts, episodes in the podcast, hit up revdeuce.com. Podcast is on our website. We have another episode being recorded tomorrow night. It is the GG's podcast. That is the Gaming Guys podcast with myself and Ripper. Ripper, of course, being a system engineer with EA, also formerly working with Scopely, and myself talking about all things gaming, but definitely STFC. So check it out on revdeuce.com. Connor, you want the link to the website? Right above you, man. revdeuce.com. There you go. That's where the podcast is hosted and where you can go to give it a listen. Is this Quantum Slip Drive FT broken? No. No. You found Strange New Worlds a good series? Strange New Worlds is, if Strange New Worlds can go at least 6 or 7 seasons, it will be, for me, arguably the best Star Trek series ever. I don't know if it'll ever be able to beat back the nostalgia of Next Generation Deep Space Nine for me, but in terms of pound for pound, content for content, it's up there. So, best movie is Undiscovered Country because it used the theme for my audition as a drum major in high school. Well, that is very nerdy, and that is also pretty cool. So I like it. I like it. TV shows also include Lower Decks, Prodigy, and anime series, so calling Voyager the worst. Yeah, absolutely. Voyager's way Lower Decks is one of the best Star Trek shows ever made. Prodigy is solid if you're considering that it's garnered and aimed at preteen age people. I don't see why that's an issue. And the animated series, I guess I would put the TA. Now, personally, I just combine the animated series with the original series. That's just me. Because it's the same characters, the same cast, like literally the same voices and everything. So I put TAS with TOS. Now, I don't do that with things like Lower Decks because there's nothing to pair it with. But TAS is literally just TOS, but they animated it. So I put those together. So when I rank TOS, I'm ranking TAS with TOS. That's just me. But for me, the worst Star Trek is Voyager. Some people have Enterprise as their worst. Some people have Disco as their worst. Either way, it's still all Star Trek, and all of it should be celebrated because I love Star Trek point blank. Why do you like Voyager? Voyager, it has the worst storylines as a whole, horrible plot armor, and horrible character development. And that's not saying that the actors weren't good. I think Kate Mulgrew is a fantastic actress, right? I think Jerry Ryan is great. If you want the best 7 of 9 as a character, you get it in Picard. Her character development in Voyager is terrible, with some of the cringiest, awfulest romances forced into it, like with the Doctor and Chakotay. Ugh. Best character development for 7 of 9 is literally in Picard, and I'm not even saying that Picard's a great series. I'm saying that Voyager had horrible writing. Now, there are some great Voyager episodes, fantastic Voyager episodes, individually, but as a series, it's my worst. It's my worst. Berman kind of kept Voyager from being great. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Jerry Ryan is beautiful, but literally relegating her to nothing but eye candy when you have the opportunity to make great storylines is ridiculous. Great example. Look at Picard. You can, and I can understand the acknowledgement that Picard as a series is not super strong, but Jerry Ryan is still extremely hot. I'm sorry. I'm objectifying Jerry Ryan. She is unashamedly beautiful. Jerry Ryan is like one of those top tier gorgeous individuals. She is hot. Okay. She just is. But she has amazing character development in Picard. While still being hot, you can have both. You didn't really get both in Voyager, and I don't like that. So, yep. Great episodes like the Lizard episode. Oh gosh. Yep. We're going to go to Warp 10 and it turns us into lizards, and then we're going to abandon the lizard children we have. That's Voyager story writing. Don't get me started on like the Kess storyline or all the Borg storyline. Anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, that's, again, all this is opinion. I'm not saying anything is wrong. It's kind of like in Star Trek Fleet Command, right? There are people who will argue till they're blue in the face that the Daridex is their favorite and best ship, even though the Daridex is the weakest, statistically, of the epics at G5. That doesn't make it bad, it just makes it the weakest. But people will freaking love on that thing like it is God's gift to Star Trek because they love the Romulans and they love the Daridex. And that's fine, right? That is completely okay. Everything that we're discussing is subjective. You're more than welcome to say, Rev, I think Voyager's the best Star Trek. I'm going to disagree with you. And the only thing that I'm going to provide, there's only one requirement I have, whether we're talking Star Trek Fleet Command or we're talking Star Trek series. If you don't like something, at least be able to back it up with reasons besides you just don't like it, right? Like with Voyager, I dislike it because the writing is bad. I can point to several episodes that are hands down. Like if you took a list of the 20 worst Trek episodes, over half of them will be from Voyager. Like just really, really bad writing. But that doesn't mean that there aren't really good highlights in Voyager as well, right? Voyager has some really good episodes. It did manage to stay on air for 7 years, even after getting thrown onto UPN. So it's not like Voyager is just completely trash. It has good spots. Just overall, it's my worst. So, do I have to have reasons to not like Lube? No, Lube is British. You are always allowed to dislike the British. It's something the world around can all agree on. So, the pure destruction done to canon by Discovery makes it far and away the worst. And see, at least you have a reason. I don't agree with you, but at least you have a reason. My volume is the same as it always is, Shaker. No difference in volume. But, I mean, I can show you TNG destroying Trek canon at the time. I can show you DS9 destroying Trek canon. If you expect continuality between all sci-fi shows over 60 years, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, I'm not saying that Star Trek shows shouldn't try to maintain that continuality. I'm not disagreeing with that. But every Trek show that has ever been written, even the best ones, have broken canon many times. TNG has had literal world-breaking canon, and there was only 2 seasons or 2 series at the time. Yeah, even TOS isn't consistent with itself because it was the pioneer. They're like, we're figuring it out. We're just writing stuff. You know, it's always easy to look back in retrospect and say this wasn't good, but when you compare it to at the time, yeah, it's fine. Look, you can, and I say this, I've said this many times. You all can be out there right now and you can hate Discovery. And that's fine. I have no issue with people disliking Discovery. The only one thing I say is you better respect Discovery because Discovery saved Star Trek. It did. Like, you can dislike it, but Discovery created millions of new Trek fans, and Discovery created things like Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, the Section 31 movie. If Disco had failed and flopped, you'd probably never have Star Trek again. Paramount would have just sold the rights off, and then you would have had those god-awful abominations. You think Paramount and Discovery is bad? Imagine if Amazon had the rights to Star Trek. Go watch Wheel of Time and tell me that Disco was terrible in terms of like canon and lore. Go watch Wheel of Time. Let me know what you think, assuming you've read the books. Right? So, like, as bad as some people can say Disco is, at least Disco was good enough to save Star Trek. And for that, I'll always appreciate it. And no, I do not have Disco as one of my highest ranked treks. I appreciate it. Just like I appreciate the original series for starting Star Trek. The original series has terrible episodes, right? For example, the 2-part series of Pike and TOS is disgustingly bad. Absolutely awful. Horrible. Terrible. There's no words that can save that monstrosity of a 2-parter. Yet it exists. Welcome to Star Trek. Not everything's perfect. Amazon is a soulless spectacle. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you think it's bad now, look over at Amazon. And there are things on Amazon I like, but not a lot. Not a lot. You put Discovery the same level of canon instructions they did to Wheel of Time? I don't have it anywhere near. But again, that's the wonderful thing with opinions. What I can say about you, Braindig, is I appreciate that you have a reason, and that's all that matters. There are too many people who hate things in the world just because they exist. Just like Star Trek Fleet Command. There are people who hate whatever Scopely makes because Scopely made it. And I don't think that's fair. And I say that as the guy who has been done dirty by Scopely more than anybody else in this chat. There's nobody here that's been done dirty more by Scopely than me. And even I'm like, well, that's still good. Like, come on, that's still good. So I don't like to hate things just for the sake of hating them. There's got to be a reason. And if you got a reason, I'll live with it. Really are a big nerd having read Wheel of Time? Okay, well, to be fair, I've only read the first 5 books, and there's like 14. So technically, I've only read like 32% of it. But yeah, Wheel of Time is wonderful. It's actually people in this community that introduced me to it. Really enjoyed it. Part of it has helped inspire my book that I'm writing, because I have a fantasy book that I'm writing. Can we stop using the word canon in fiction and fantasy? No, we can't. Canon. I'm going to save it harder now. Canon. Yeah. So I showed up a little late. Welcome in, Dago. How you doing? Can someone explain what's shared by the Scotty officer info? Well, Scotty's an officer this upcoming month, and he does have a loot ability that has nothing to do with the new hostile grind that you experience. But he is coming. He's one of the officers, as well as Savick. And I'm curious to see what people think. Curious to see what people think. It will look pretty as heck, but nothing beyond that. It's Zack Snyder as a service. I don't even know what you're talking about, Comms. I must have missed the original talking point. So the Q cannon is from Voyager. Yeah, the Q cannon is from Voyager when the Q were having a civil war, which I would argue is one of the better episodes in Voyager. When the Q continuum is having a civil war, and then to make it relatable and understandable, etc., to these lowly humans, it gets put into like this weird 1860s Civil War theme, but it makes sense because the Q are trying to make mortals understand what's going on. So I actually really like that episode. Now, does it make sense that the Q cannon in STFC isn't a god weapon? Because it's not a god weapon, it's just really cool. No, but at least it makes sense, and that's a good episode. That's a good episode. Mushroom Warp Drive was original, and Strange World Pike even had a line about throwing shade on it. Hey, I'm just saying, sometimes you need to eat mushrooms to write about mushrooms. I think mushrooms were had, is what I'm saying. I think mushrooms were had. All right. Did you go over the Reliant already? We have talked about the Reliant quite a bit, yes. I will have a video tomorrow outlining more about the Reliant, just kind of prep people for whether they want to go after it. But yeah. Hadn't read the books, but started the show and couldn't finish. Normally, again, we're kind of getting off the beaten path, but you know, one thing I love about our community is that we share so many things together. Like we enjoy the same shows, we enjoy the same books. So if you haven't already, join us on Discord where we talk more about this ad nauseum. But normally I see movies and I create their own cinematic universe. It's like when I see Lord of the Rings, like the new Lord of the Rings show, it doesn't bother me because I know the context of the new Lord of the Rings show on Amazon is all they were able to use is the Apocrypha at the end of the trilogies. All right, so they actually could not use anything from the Silmarillion, anything from the extended. Like I have, 15 Tolkien books about Lord of the Rings. All they could use was the Appendix A, Appendix B, etc. So they had to build stuff and they had to specifically avoid certain things because the Tolkien estate said you can't have the rights to other stuff. So from the very get-go, they had to go, well, heck, some of this stuff has to be BS. Now, I personally would have simply just said, hey, if you're not going to sell me the rights to the other stuff, I'm just not going to make the show. Now, of course, Amazon, who wants to make billions of dollars, said, screw it, we'll just go with what we can make, and it's just not going to be as good as it could be. So they're literally writing, for those that don't know, the new Lord of the Rings TV show is writing about content that has multiple books, but they can't use those books. So yeah, go into that with that expectation. But anyway, the point I was making is I look at things like TV shows or whatever as a completely different universe than the comics or books they're based off of. Just like people do the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That is different than the Silver Age of comics with DC and stuff. Completely different worlds. I do the same thing with almost any TV show. Wheel of Time is just objectively bad, whether you're a fan of the books or not. I don't think people are going to enjoy it, even if they just straight watch it. Just not good. Can someone explain what the point of normal augment credits are that seem to have no use anymore? They have no use unless you're still doing the original grind, Big Mad. Once you've maxed out the Botany Bay, they really have no other use. You can still use them to buy missions and you can still buy the like avatars and stuff. But after that, you move on to the new currencies. But I still have like this mission that I've never done on this account. I just really wanted it. John says like how this is Star Trek, but not Star Trek. Yeah, exactly. We're all independents who somehow have all gotten our hands on Galaxy class starships that are still in service. Yeah, because that makes sense. Like the Federation would just let 260,000 people run around with a Galaxy class starship. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Just like the Klingon Empire is just handing out barrels like candy. You know, the Borg. Yeah, we don't mind if hundreds of thousands of people have a freaking cube. We don't care. Yeah, so again, you do have to suspend your belief a little bit. Right? You got to suspend your belief a little bit to like a good one. Here, I say this is a good example. Some people hate it. I think that the assimilated pack-led storyline is one of the best things Star Trek Fleet Command has ever written and put in the game. It's hilarious. I love it. A literal pack-led who is doing everything he can to get assimilated by the Borg. It's hilarious. Does it make sense in canon? No. But it's great writing. It's an enjoyable story. Of the 6,000 plus missions in this freaking game, it's one of the only lines that makes me go, dadgummit, they did a good job. That was good. Does it make sense in Star Trek? No. But again, I'm literally flying a freaking cube right now. And I'm not the Borg. So, yeah. What's your highest level hull plating on a G5 Epic? Do you value that favor still? The answer is yes, I do. And the highest I have is on the Enterprise D. And I have it at 12 of 15. And I'm currently working on the Klingon one for the Rotaran at 8 out of 15. You're not a Borg? I know. I was surprised as well to learn that I was not the Borg. I was shocked. I could have sworn I was Borg. Best line from Lower Decks, why are there 3 Spocks on your station? Yeah, You know, and I really appreciate when Scopely leans into that and they don't take that too seriously. I think that's some of their best stories. The Paklin line, great. The first Lower Decks arc, one of the best storylines they've ever come out with. So, you know, there are things that STFC gets right. And I love seeing that stuff and hope more of that type of stuff goes through. So, there's some good stuff there. Will Scopely ever stop giving unnecessary parts in independent archives? No, it will not. Isn't it obvious we all want the body snatching automated repair station and sold our families? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The Chaotica story from a couple months ago is pretty good. I'll be honest, I did not really read the Chaotica one for Year of Hell. I didn't. So I missed that one. I read, I think, the first couple, and then I got distracted and I never went back and finished it. What I typically do is I go to stfc.space and I read the stories there after I complete the missions, because I spam the missions just to get them over with. But I never went back and finished that one, so I need to go back and finish reading that on stfc.space. So, need to do that. Pretty much everything they've done with the Paklets and STFC has been gold. We need to frame that and send it to them. Obviously, that's what STFC needs, is more Paklets content. You know what? The next galactic invasion we have needs to be the Paklets invading. Yeah, the Paklets are coming and they're stealing your stuff. Like, the Paklets hit your station, like a hostile hits your station, and then, like, your ships, you can't use them for 8 hours because the Paklets stole the warp core out of it. That's what we need. Yeah, we need that. We need Paklets who come into the universe, they hit your stations if you don't have your shield up, and then the Paklets will steal your warp cores and stuff. That's what we need. That's the content this game is looking for. Yeah. Yeah. Have the Paklets stealing resources. Oh, wrong ship. Have the Paklets stealing resources and doing naughty things. Are the new Augment G3/G4 ship skins coming skins money only? Long term, there is going to be sourcing for these skins. Currently, they are pay only. All right, boys and girls, I've got to wrap it up because today is Sunday. We're celebrating with my family. Well, not really celebrating. I think we're just having a good time. I'm got to go out and grill. I got to go cook burgers for the kids. And for any man out there, real man, oh yeah. You know, that's a process. Because a real man doesn't use propane and propane accessories. Real man uses wood and charcoal. Real man measures his heat and his temperatures naturally, not propanely. Okay, so I got to go make the burgers, and I got to make them perfect, juicy, succulent even. But I will be here tonight. Don't forget, if you are a member on our website, revduce.com, movie night is tonight. So we do have perks for those who support the channel financially. If you can't support financially, I get not everybody can. There's over 400 of you here today. Hit the like button on your way out. More content coming this week. Battle Pass giveaway this Tuesday. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with those Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. See you at the Battle Cash giveaway on Tuesday. Love you, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting me and my family. I cannot say thank you enough. I'll see y'all all on the next one. Hit that like button on your way out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.